So, it snowed most of the night last night. A lot of fire trucks running around. It's a little before 4 o'clock p.m. on February 15, 2021. At some point last night, around 2:30 a.m., electricity went out. Came back on for just a very short period of time for some information to be revealed about other things that were going on. Then it went back down. Then it came back up again. Then it went down and it just came back up. It was off by about 4 o'clock a.m. By about 4 o'clock, 4:30 a.m., the electricity was off, and it's been off for nearly the last 12 hours. Phone doesn't work when that happens. It's just this particular area. None of the stores are open. There's probably a good, maybe 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches, solid snowpack on the ground. It's not cold enough to freeze. We're not talking about ice yet, but we're talking about packed snow. And Texas doesn't have the kind of emergency services that know how to respond to or apparently in a snow incident. Personally, I find it delightful. I like it. Where are we at? Well, what did I just open to? 6, UN Resolution 242. I like to do this thing where I go with what the Spirit tells me. I left here at 2:42. Rode my bike up the street to where I otherwise would have been working. Got a call last night when the electricity was still on saying they were having a soft opening, that it would be open by 10 o'clock today, a little later. But when I went up there before 3:30, the whole place was closed down. As a matter of fact, they have police do not cross tape up for the entrances into the parking lot of the area where I would have been working. The train line, the DART, it's completely shut down today. There's no break in the snow on the tracks. They have the guardrails down across the tracks if you're going in and out of the parking lot. You gotta go through and weave around. You know what it looks like? You ever experience that? Having to go through a makeshift road closure? Now there's cameras. There's a police officer right on the other side in the parking lot. But if you're trying to come into the parking lot just expecting to be able to enter the parking lot, you didn't know that they would have those guardrails down, permanently down. What do? There's no train coming. You're going to turn around and go back? Or are you going to go through and go through? You can actually do that. You can drive a car off to the side, turn down, and go around. People lined up on either side trying to negotiate. Who's going to go through to come in? Who's going to go through to go out? Just a random cop sitting in his car in the parking lot. Can't get down to the platform. Trains aren't running. There's no salt on the street. People are driving. People are navigating the right of access to the viaways and modes of transportation as they may. You know, when I was out there, somebody said, "It's a nice day for a bike ride, isn't it?" I said, "Yeah, it is." I made it all the way there, and I made it all the way back before 4 o'clock. I feel as accomplished as I can be today. There's all kinds of stuff I couldn't do online, right? I was supposed to post some things and make some notices, but it didn't happen. So this is as close as it's going to get. What do we got here today? What's the next fact and fallacy we got to deal with? Okay, where are we at? Fallacy. Oh, really? This is where they're going with this? Fallacy. Israel's international birth certificate was validated by the promise of the Bible. APAC, 1992. Really? Fact. Claims of divine support for tribal or national ambitions were common in the ancient world. Sumerians, Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans all cited divine inspiration for their conquest. As historian Frank Epp notes, every phenomena and process of life was attributed to the agency of a god or gods, of good land being promised to better people by superior gods. No court of law or world body today would honor, as legal, a title of ownership based on a claim that purported to come from God. Even for those who take the biblical grant literally as God's grant, biblical scholars such as Dr. Dewey Beagle of Wesley Theological Seminary point out that the ancient Jews failed to be obedient to God's commandments and therefore forfeited the promise. Wow. Now there's one, two, three, four footnotes. I love footnotes. There's an endnote and a footnote. Hey! You can hear the fire siren over there, but there was just a truck with its light flashing and no siren that went by up there. You need a timestamp? 4:04 p.m. You heard it here first, right? Alright, what's the endnote? Bottom of the page. AIPAC is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, the major lobby supporting Israel in the United States. Let's see, what do we got here for the footnotes? Chapter 1. Footnote 7. Bard and Himmelfarb, Myths and Facts, 1. 8. Concerning the quote regarding promised to better people by superior gods. Ep. Whose land is Palestine, 38 and 41. 9. Concerning that purported to come from God. Guillaume. Zionist in the Bible, 25 to 30, reprinted in Khalidi, From Haven to Conquest. Also see Nakla, Encyclopedia of the Palestine Problem, 953 to 70. 10. And therefore forfeited the promise. Dewey Beagle, interview with author, 12 January, 1984. Wow. You think if you interview somebody and they have to write a book like this, they might use the interview you did with them as a reference and consideration of what they would go on the record as a act of debunking? Wow. You know, it would be pretty cool to be one of those people, don't you think? You get to meet people, including provocative people. I mean, really provocative people. Maybe even dangerous people. Maybe awesome people. Maybe assholes. You get to meet them. You get to ask them questions. They answer the questions. You print the questions. Maybe you ask a lot of people at a specific period in time a lot of questions, and a lot of people answer them. Maybe you print them in a publication. Maybe they do something with those interviews, with those questions that you asked that they answer. You think it ever gets put in a book like this? They cite your name in the footnote? Footnotes are important, don't you think? Yeah. Something else. 4:06 p.m. President's Day. I hope you have a good day. And I hope you deal with whatever you got going on with the snow as appropriate.